Hi, my name is Solomon Omeru, and with me is
Edidion Okonkwo.
And together we're going to be hosting this segment of the Afrocentrist Podcast titled Discovery Tuesday.
It's going to be a world of discovery where we'll have fun hanging out together as we bring you insights that will inform and educate you on topical issues bordering on relationship. This will help you discover yourself and enable you make better choices as you go through your unique life experiences.
Coming to you every Tuesday at 4 p.m. GST.
Remember, self-discovery is the first step to true freedom. See you there.
Hi, welcome back to the Afrocentrist Podcast. It's Discovery Tuesday, and I'm your host, Solomon Omeru. Today I'm going to be handling this alone. Eddie Young is not around. And today we're going to be talking about growth over goals. I believe a lot of us have set goals we want to achieve for the year, a lot of targets after 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. There are a lot of things we've made up our mind to achieve. But today we want to look at a better way to go about our goals. I admire goals a lot, but one thing I admire more than goals is growth, evolving, being a better aspect or a better version of yourself. So today we're going to compare growth over goals and understand the importance of growth rather than just concentrating on a one-time goal. I want to start by telling you how I started reading or enjoying reading books. Naturally, I don't enjoy reading books, or I wasn't that student who loved to read. But at some point, I understood the fact that it's important to get knowledge. I understood the power of applying knowledge, and you needed to get knowledge. So what I did was I wrote a set of goals of how many books I want to finish reading in a month or in 3 months. I kept on tweaking the goals, changing it from a year, making it 2 months, just trying to make sure I read. What I realized was I kept on struggling with reading. At some point, I'll just run through a book quickly just to make myself feel good, to tell myself I achieved the goals. It was very frustrating. So at some point, what I did was I decided to change it. I started looking at my friends who read, who enjoyed reading, and I noticed they had their books or the novel with them all the time. So I changed my mind. I stopped trying to finish a book. I started acting like that guy who reads. So I'll walk around with my book, come to the park with my books, hold my books during break hours, just to make people feel or believe that I read. What happened was that while I was going around with this book, I started reading the books, a few minutes here and there. Although it took a long time, but at some point I actually finished that book and I understood the content of the book. So I decided to go on with that style. I started walking around with the books, trying to see if I could read them. It took me a longer while to finish books, but at some point I so much enjoyed the contents of the books I read to the extent that I started reading books very well. Somewhere along the line, I read a book that explained what I did, and I realized what I'd done was I started becoming the person who read books. I wanted to be the person who read books rather than setting goals of how many books or how many pages of books I want to read. Now here's the thing, there's nothing wrong about setting goals or trying to achieve a one-time goal. But what happens here is that we concentrate more on the results. You just want to get that goal achieved. So much concentration on the results makes the process difficult, makes the process boring. You just want to go there and do that thing. You just want that goal to happen immediately, and the process becomes difficult. I'm going to talk about 3 importance of growth over goals. The first importance I'm going to talk about today is it makes it easy to accomplish your goals. Now, when you just concentrate on growing, becoming, being the person who does that thing, you just want to show up every day doing that thing, and as such, you're definitely going to reach your goals. I'll give you an example of the gym. Rather than going to the gym and saying, I want to lose 10 pounds in 1 month, or I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. Now, you struggle each time you want to go to the gym because you just want to accomplish that goal of going to the gym or losing 10 kgs. But when you concentrate on being that person who is known for living a healthy lifestyle and going to the gym, it becomes easier because you're not just going there to achieve a goal. You're going there to become that person, to be known as the person who does this thing. The idea here is it becomes easy. You just concentrate on showing up in the gym, being there in the gym. And once you're at the gym, you do the things right, you're definitely going to lose weight or lose the amount of kgs you target. So it makes your goal easier to achieve. The second one is this: it helps sustain the goal. What most people do is they set a one-time goal, they put in all efforts to achieve the goal. Once the goal is achieved, they drop the ball. Once they get to a point where they feel the result is achieved, they forget about it. When you concentrate on growing, you always want to be better. Even when you achieve the result, you always look for a way to be better at that thing. You look for a way to improve. It doesn't just create the goal or help you achieve the goal. It starts sustaining the goal. You remain right up there. You want to do better. You want to become better. You start asking yourself questions like, how can I improve or be better than this result? The third one is growth helps you monitor your goals rather than just measuring the results. Once you concentrate on achieving goals, you start measuring results. Oh, I achieved this. Oh, I achieved that. When you concentrate on growth, you monitor the progress. You start asking yourself questions like, how much change have I achieved? What worked and what didn't work? That's a growth-oriented mind. But a goal-oriented mind is just concentrated on the result. Okay, I achieved this in 10 days. I achieved this in 3 months. But when you're growth-oriented, you start concentrating on the details. What did I do better? How did I get here? What worked? What didn't work? So this changes your mind and it makes you a better person. So here I'm going to be giving you examples of what growth feels like in different aspects of life. In your personal life, growth can be you trying to be a better version of yourself. So rather than setting goals or doing things that will make you feel happy, you start to search the happiness from within. I've heard most people say, oh, once I get this job or once I achieve this, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be comfortable. And you find out that they achieve those things and they just want more. The happiness is not there. So growth is going to be you trying to evolve into a better person, into someone you're happy with, into someone you're going to love, rather than depending on other people or other achievements to feel happy and loved. What will growth look like in relationship? In relationship, growth will be you wanting to be that person you want others to be. So rather than setting a goal of saying you want to change your spouse, you want to make them change, or you want to get a partner who is this or that, who is loving, who is caring, you make yourself, you grow into that person, so you become that loving spouse. Or you change yourself to be that spouse whom your partner is going to love. That way, you concentrate on you growing and being that better person rather than trying to change the person around you. And what usually happens here is once you grow into that better person, you start attracting your kind. Or your spouse starts noticing that change in you and they start to change themselves. What would growth look like in studies as a student? Instead of concentrating on coming out with straight A's or trying to be come out with a first class, you concentrate on understanding what you're being taught, understanding what you're reading. This is what happens. Most students just want to write the exam and pass the exam, so they end up cramming or looking for a way to get by the exam, as long as they come out with straight A's or first class. Now, this is the problem. You come out with straight A's, you come out with a first class, but you struggle to understand what you studied. Instead of thinking that way, growth will be you trying to understand what you're being taught, trying to absorb the content you read, trying to be that person who really understands the subject. There is no way you understand the subject very well and you're not going to do well in an exam. There is no way you study very well, understand the course you're doing, and you're not going to come out with straight A's. So growth in studies will be you becoming that person who understands. What will growth look like in your career? Instead of concentrating on getting promotions or just trying to outshine everybody, you concentrate on being the person who is good at what they do. You're that colleague who comes to work on time, who does their job very well. Chances are, if you do these things well, you grow. You become the person who is very good at your job, and definitely promotion comes around. But when you concentrate on just getting that promotion, getting that work bonus, you may start stepping on people just to get there. You may start cutting corners. You may start going above everyone, trying to cut corners and get there. But when you just concentrate on being better, becoming that person who is good, who is known for doing their work very well, the promotion comes. If you've noticed all the examples I've given, there's a key word that stands out, and that is becoming. The idea of growth over goal is choosing to become the person who does those things well. Rather than saying, I want to get this, I want to get that, you become the person who is known for being good at those things. So you grow into that level, and it stays with you. I'm going to round up with this. The next step towards achieving growth is concentrating on being at least 1% better each day. So the next time you think of a goal you want to achieve, think on how you can become the person who is known for achieving that thing, rather than just achieving that thing once. That's the time today. Thank you for listening to us. Please add us on Instagram and follow us. We'd like to hear your reviews. We'd like to know what you've gained from the podcast.